Alright, so for this demonstration, I'll be going through how we can use FileZilla to upload files to a web server. So you have your website files and you want to upload them to a web server. You can use FileZilla for that purpose. So FileZilla is a free open source and also cross-platform FTP application. And FTP simply stands for File Transfer Protocol, which basically allows you to upload files to a web server, and you can also use it to download files from your web server as well. But for us, we will be using it to upload files to our web server. All right. Now, there are other FTP applications out there, and some of the more popular ones include CyberDuck, Fire FTP, Coffee Cup FTP. So if you don't want to use FileZilla, then you can always choose one of those. But for us, FileZilla is what we will be using. So I'm now at my web browser. So I want to now go ahead and download FileZilla. So I'll do that. Alright, so I'm just going to type FileZilla in my web browser, and then what I want to grab is the FileZilla client. Alright, so I'm going to click on this. Now I am using a Windows device, so naturally I'm going to get the Windows version. Again, I did say that FileZilla is cross-platform, so if you are using a Mac OS, then you can use FileZilla as well. If you are using a Linux operating system, you can also, download and use FileZilla. So I'm going to go ahead and download. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and download here as well. Alright, I'm going to save the file here and then just do a quick install. Alright, so I'm going to click on my downloaded file just to install. Agree. Alright, so this is one thing that FileZilla sort of got a bad reputation, or they always try to package other applications that you really don't need, right? So you might have to just go through. If you uninstall these other applications without noticing, you might have to now go through and uninstall them. Alright, so I'm simply going to just click on decline because I don't want to install this Brave browser. So I'm going to decline that and just go to next. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with this option. I want the desktop icon, so I'm going to select that and go to next. And then next. And I'm going to go ahead and install. Alright, so installation has been completed. And this is the installation of FileZilla. Now, if you want, you can check out the documentation and all of that. Alright, so pretty much once you are here, what you want to do now is go to the site manager and set up FileZilla for your purpose of uploading your files to your website. Alright, or to the web server, I should say. So uploading your website files to the web server. So I'm going to go to File and then click on Site Manager, and pretty much you'll see the settings here. Now, for me, I already had FileZilla set up. Now, you will leave the protocol as FTP, definitely. what you want to place as the host is the domain name that your website will be hosted at, right? The domain name, and you want to attach the FTP prefix to that. So it will be FTP dot whatever your domain name is. And for the port, FTP uses port 21, so we're going to put port 21 there. And for the logon type, we leave that as normal. If it's not there for you, then select normal. You'll place your username here, and you'll place your your password. All right. Now, I already have this site set up, but let's say you wanted to create a new site. So that's what you'll be doing if you're starting from scratch. You'll click on new site, and then you will name your site. Probably can say my site or something appropriate. All right, and then you will enter your host, which is your domain name. All right, but it must be first. You must set the prefix FTP dot. All right, so we have FTP dot my domain name. Port, as I said, is 21. You'll type your username here, or your user ID, whichever way you want to look at it. All right, and your password. All right, so once that is done, you can simply click on connect. All right. So this is saying that hostname does not match certificate. All right, we can ignore that and just click on OK. Or I'll first say always trust this certificate in the future or in future sessions, and then click on OK. All right, we are now connected. Now, this tab here is showing us our status. Over here, where my mouse is, my cursor is, that is showing us our system, the files that are on our computer. So pretty much, if we want, we can navigate to whichever location our files are. For me, I want to upload the files that are on my desktop in a subfolder called John W. Alright, so you'll just pretty much navigate to wherever it is. Let's say I wasn't in this location. Alright, I would have to now look for desktop, which is here. Alright, so I go to desktop, go to my projects folder, and then this is the folder with the files that I want to upload. So once I click on that, they are all loaded below. Alright, now this section here where my mouse cursor is moving, that's our remote site. So that's where we want to place our files. Alright, so these are the files that I want to place on the web server. Alright, so I can pretty much just highlight all the files that I want to bring over. Alright, so these are all my files. I can simply highlight those and drag them over. So the left is my local computer. The right pane here represents the remote site or the web server. Alright, the web server file location is to the right. My local machine files are to the left. or we can highlight all the files and then right click on them and say upload. Now, pretty much what you want to do though is ensure that your index.html is not inside of a subfolder. You want it to be on the outside of all subfolders, right? So I can simply just drag these across, and the process is being done where the files are now being transferred to our web server. Right. And once the transfer is finished, you should see a little message saying that the process has been completed. Alright, so we're just allowing the transfer process to complete. And pretty much once the files are finished transferring, you should be able to instantly go to your domain, go to the URL, and you should be seeing your files. Right, so you can go to the server, you should be seeing your files, and if you type in the correct link as well, the correct URL, you should be seeing your website being displayed. Alright, so I got a little notification here that says transfer finished. All files have been successfully transferred. Alright, so that is good. Alright, so just to prove that my files are transferred, I'm going to just quickly log into my web server and just files were uploaded. Alright, so that is good. Alright, so now I'm going to check to see if I can browse my web pages based on the files that I would have just uploaded. Alright, and when I tried to browse, it actually took me to the website. Alright, and the files were all brought over. So that's it, basically. Alright. So again, you can simply use FileZilla to upload your website files to your web server and almost instantly, view your website via a browser. Alright, so that is it as it relates to using FileZilla.